Hi, everyone, and welcome to our Girls' Night In. My name's Lisa Tony, and I'm going to be your host tonight. I am so very glad that you could join us. We are going to have a good time tonight as we encourage each other, connect in the Lord, and share some good old quarantine inspiration. So, I don't know about you, but when I go out with my girls, I love to have a night of laughter, of heart connection, and recharging. So, that is what tonight is all about. So go ahead and grab something to drink and get cozy. Actually, at the end of our night tonight, we are going to do cheers together. So get something, a glass that you can raise together as we celebrate our time together at the end of our evening. Well, I want to share with you a few things that are coming up with Women of Purpose. First of all, I want to encourage you to connect on our Women of Purpose Facebook page and Instagram page. You can find us on Facebook at Women of Purpose, and you can find us on Instagram at We Are Women of Purpose. I also want to invite you to be part of our Courage Warriors Bible study, where we are looking at 5 sessions of little known women in the Bible who were big on courage. So if you could use a little spiritual encouragement, a little biblical nourishment in your life right now, I want to invite you on Thursdays at 1 o'clock. We are both on Zoom and Facebook Live. And this has just been a really great study to dive into. It's been so much fun helping us all to build our courage in Jesus. So you can get more information by going to couragewarriors.com, and there's the lessons there that you have missed and would love to get you caught up on those and also have you jump in to join us this week. All right, ladies, well, it is time for our Girls' Night In. Get excited? I'm so excited that you are here. So this morning I was out on a walk, and I have a neighbor that in my neighborhood where I go, and they have a lemon tree, and there was all these bruised lemons that were laying on the ground that they did not want. And so I picked some of these lemons up, and it was kind of perfect because these lemons were kind of left alone. They were bruised, they were abandoned. And I was thinking, this is how kind of we all feel right now, right? We kind of feel like we're all alone, left, little bruised and beaten from what's going on in our world and abandoned. Maybe you're feeling a little sour pucker face right now, I mean, we've all got a little bit of that going on as we're all feeling a little just out of sorts a bit. And it was kind of a beautiful moment because I had these lemons, and my kids, I have 4 kids. My oldest is 6th grade, 4th grade, 2nd grade, kindergarten. So we are having lots of family time. So much family time. Lots of family time. So it's good. They're missing school, and we're making it work and all that good stuff. And so they actually got in the pool the other day. It's still freezing, but they're like desperate for activity. So they all jumped into the cold pool, and they're like, "Mom, make us lemonade, make us lemonade." And I'm like, "Oh, you guys, I don't have any lemonade. I'm sorry, I can't go to the store." And Zoe, my oldest, was like, "Hey, Mom, you've got those lemons." I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Can I make fresh lemonade?" I'm like, "Yeah, go for it." And we are much more instant lemonade people at my house. We're not really fresh lemonade people. We haven't really ever done the take the lemon, cut the lemon, squeeze the lemon, add the water, add the sugar. And she did the whole thing. And I got to tell you, it was the best lemonade that I have ever had. And so I was thinking, oh, it is so perfect to, this whole idea of taking lemons and making lemonade. But it was so true. And I feel that that is something that the Lord can do through this time with us and wants to do with us. So our theme for the evening is going to be the joy of the Lord is my strength. And so I wanted to just share with you a couple of things as we think about this idea of the joy of the Lord is our strength for our Girls' Night In tonight. Super excited that we are going to be able to spend this time together. So we are attempting to live stream right now onto Facebook. It is having a little bit of a hard time connecting, so we're going to keep working on that, but we're recording this. So if for some reason some of your friends are trying to watch on Facebook Live and they can't get on right now, we will post it to the Women of Purpose Facebook page. But for any of you who are on social media, I want to invite you to get on our social media, Women of Purpose Facebook, and we are Women of Purpose Instagram, and we're trying to post all kinds of encouraging things for you, and that's a great way for you to stay up to date with what's happening in our ministry and things that you can participate in. We're also right now in the middle of a Bible study called Courage Warriors, and it's not too late to join. We do a Zoom call and go on Facebook Live every Thursday at 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And so we are studying little known women who are in the Bible who are big on courage. So if you want to jump into this study, you can go to couragewarriors.com. All the video teachings are there and posted, and you can check those out. We're having so much fun, and we've got a few weeks left. I would absolutely love to have you jump in and join us for the remainder of that study. Okay, so I mentioned this one at the beginning, and we are going to do a little cheers at the end. So you're going to want to grab a little cup of something while you're watching and be ready for at the very end of our time tonight. We are just going to have a moment where we can celebrate what the Lord is doing and celebrating each other. So this is our theme verse for the evening. The joy of the Lord is my strength. And so that's just a little reminder from the message that I shared with you earlier, that, you know, as we feel maybe left and abandoned like those lemons that have fallen off the tree, the Lord is able to still do some good things, even in the midst of that. So we've got a really fun lineup for you. And what tonight is going to be is just a variety of different women who are going to just share some fun things. So it's not all heavy, deep spiritual stuff. It is just some fun stuff for you to enjoy. Things like favorite Netflix, favorite books, favorite recipes. So just all good stuff. So if you have questions, feel free to put it in the chat. And I'm going to go ahead and post some of the things that they're talking about in the chat, so you've got that too. And then later, I'm also going to post everything on the Women of Purpose social, so on the Facebook page and on Instagram. So if you like miss a recipe, or you're like, wait, what did she recommend? We'll have that all listed there for you as well. Sound good? Woo, everybody excited? Everybody pumped? Yes, give me some love out there. Okay, I see you. Love it, love it, love it. All right, well, we are gonna kick it, first of all, with Holly Tubbs. I'm super excited that Holly is going to be joining us and kicking us off tonight. She's gonna give you some things to recommend that she has done all the work for you, scoping out some good things to be watching while you are at home, and Netflix has apparently become all of our best friends. So if you need a little encouraging love, I'm just going to invite Holly to introduce herself to you so you get a chance to know who she is. She's one of our pastors at Purpose Church. She works in our early childhood ministry. She's absolutely phenomenal. I adore her. So Holly, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you and ask you, go ahead, you can unmute your mic and jump in, and then also just give us an introduction and then go for it, sister.
Great. Awesome. Thank you so much, Lisa. Like she said, my name is Holly, and I am the early childhood pastor at Purpose Church. And I'm just so excited to be here with all of you. Just like Lisa said, I am really starting to feel the strain of not having my girls' nights out. So this couldn't come at a better time, and I hope that you are feeling the same way. So I love a lot of things, but for our purposes tonight, the only thing you need to know about me is that I love watching TV. I'm always looking for a great new series or a new movie that's really awesome. And maybe you're like me, but maybe this is a new season where you're suddenly finding yourself with time to watch TV, and you're not really sure what to watch. I have happily done that grueling research for you to find some awesome things that are out there. So I'm going to make 3 recommendations from 3 major streaming sites. The first will be from Netflix, the second from Hulu, and the third from Amazon Prime. So we're going to start with my Netflix recommendation, and I'm excited about this one because it just came out last month. It's a miniseries titled Self-Made, inspired by the life of Madam C.J. Walker. Maybe you haven't heard of her before, but this miniseries is based on her incredible life. It's a fictionalized depiction of the untold story of the Black hair care pioneer, Madam C.J. Walker, and how she overcame hostile turn-of-the-century America and epic rivalries to become America's first Black self-made female millionaire. It is just an incredible series. You're going to be hooked right from the beginning. It's not entirely historically accurate because it's for entertainment, but I really think you're going to love it, and it's absolutely worth the watch, especially if you've never heard of her before. She was awesome. Up next is my Hulu recommendation, and it's Fixer Upper. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that show, but I just recently got into it because the couple on that show, Chip and Joanna Gaines, have a line at Target called Magnolia, and I spend way too much money on this line. But it's called Fixer Upper, and the way that it works is they're a couple. She does interior design, he does construction, and they help other couples buy various homes around the state of Texas in different stages of disrepair, and they totally redo them and bring new life. And it's just super satisfying. As somebody who loves DIY, and especially before and after photos, it's just it checks all the boxes. But I should warn you, if you're going to watch this show, you are going to be so tempted to demo your entire house. So maybe have somebody in your house hide your hammer or your power tools, because I was feeling so inspired one night. I tried to hang something and I put a huge hole in the wall. So maybe hide those things for now. And up last is Amazon Prime. You might not know this, but if you have an Amazon Prime membership, you have access to their streaming site, which is pretty cool. And so I know that not everybody is a shows person, but maybe you like to watch a great new movie. Well, they have one of my favorite movies on there. It's called Instant Family. It's funny and sweet, and it's based on a true story. It follows the journey of a couple who decide they want to foster one child, and they end up bringing home 3 at the same time. And it's really sweet. It's really real as they navigate instant parenthood. It's a must watch. It's perfect for a family movie, so you can watch this with everyone in your family, but it's also perfect if you just want to have a feel-good movie to watch on your own one night. So those are my 3 recommendations. I hope these are helpful as you're looking for a little fun and or inspiring content in this season. So happy watching.
Woohoo! Awesome job, Holly. Love it, love it, love it. Yes, yes, yes. All right. We are super grateful for a few recommendations from Holly. That is some good stuff. And so we are going to head to our next presenter. And tonight we are going to be hearing from Tomiko Chacon. Now, Tomiko also is a pastor at Purpose Church. And so I've known Tomiko for a number of years. She's just such a dear friend, and I love doing ministry with her. But one of the things that I have learned about Tomiko over the years, we've traveled a little bit together. We've stayed at some conferences together. We've done a lot of early morning events together. And the thing you need to know about Tomiko is she has got to get her iced coffee going in the morning to, let's just say, start life on the right side of the bed. So I said, Tomiko, you got to share your iced coffee recipe with the world. And she was down for it. So Tomiko, my friend, you are up if you want to unmute your mic and introduce yourself to everyone.
Hi, guys. It's so good to be with you. Thank you so much, Lisa, for inviting me to be a part of this. And ladies, you gave me a reason to put makeup on today. So thank you so much for being here tonight. And, you know, I was thinking, is this the only women's event ever that you don't have to wait in line for the bathroom? Like, I don't know, possibly, right? So it is really great to be with you guys. And yes, Pastor Lisa is so correct. I love iced coffee. And when I wake up in the morning, I thank Jesus for the day. And I drink a big glass of water first, and then I make a beeline for the kitchen to make my iced coffee. Now, I would love to know, I know I'm not the only coffee drinker, coffee lover out there. So I would love to know what your go-to drink is. So if it's coffee, is it tea, whatever it is. So go ahead and put that in the chat and let's share with each other what our favorite drink is. So, but I have to tell you guys, the thing that's been so helpful as we are in quarantine is having my iced coffee in the morning. And, you know, these days of being safe at home can be and have been at times for me a little tedious, a little monotonous. Now, it has been a blessing. Don't get me wrong. I have had so much free time with my kids, and I have cleaned out closets. I have simplified my life. But let me tell you, all that time with my kids, lots and lots and lots of time with my kids, has led me to want lots and lots and lots of iced coffee to get me through the day. So I want to say one more thing too, before I tell you like my secret recipe, is that I didn't always love coffee. In fact, when I was in college, I would sit at Denny's and pull these all-nighters with all of my classmates writing term papers that we procrastinated on. And everybody in my study group would be just downing cups of coffee, you know, from Denny's. And I would have like a soda because I just didn't like coffee. I couldn't stand the taste of it or the smell of it. But it wasn't until I moved to Japan, and I was teaching English there for an organization, teaching kids. And people in Japan, now they love tea. Okay, so don't get me wrong, they love tea, but they love iced coffee. You can find it anywhere, in a bottle, in a can, in a cafe. They love iced coffee. They love coffee. And so for some reason, I just thought, let me just try it. Maybe it'll be different here. And you know what? It was. I absolutely loved it. And so ever since then, I've been hooked. But it took me a while to perfect my iced coffee recipe. And I used to brew coffee in a regular coffee pot. And I use either espresso beans or like a dark roast or a French roast. And I usually buy them from Sam's or Costco. And they have their brand there, and it's almost always fair trade, which means that the farmers got paid a fair wage for the beans. So that somehow, I feel like it tastes better, but you feel good drinking it. But I used to just brew a regular pot of coffee, and then I got married and I somehow got my husband addicted to iced coffee too. So we use this percolator to brew our coffee. I don't know if you can see this. Let me move my camera. Yeah, so it makes 40 cups. Now I know you're probably thinking, why do you use a 40-cup percolator to brew coffee? Isn't that for parties? And yes, it is. And it's for dinner parties. But you know what? We drink so much iced coffee, we brew like 40 cups at a time. Sounds crazy. I know, I'm sorry. But we usually do it like twice a week. So I brew the coffee, I let it chill, and I usually do a cup of grounds for 10 cups of water. No idea if that's too strong or too weak, but for me, I like it strong. So I think that's a little strong. And then I let it cool, and I put it in a glass jar, and I put it in the refrigerator. So it's nice and cold. And in the morning, I wake up and I fill a glass with ice, fill it with my iced coffee, and then I pour in my French vanilla creamer. Now, I know you're thinking, Tamika, why don't you make it healthier? You can use like coconut milk or almond milk, fat-free, sugar-free, but just something about good old-fashioned French vanilla creamer. And then it's about this color. And I go and sit in my favorite chair, and I spend time with Jesus, and I drink my iced coffee. And this is the first one of the day. I usually do like seconds. And if it's like a really crazy morning with my kids, maybe I have thirds. But then I cut myself off, and I only drink water the rest of the day because I have to counterbalance all the caffeine with some water. But ladies, you know what? This is something that gives me joy. And maybe there's something that you have found in this time of quarantine that has brought you joy. May not be iced coffee, it could be something else. But I really believe that Jesus wants us to find something that brings us joy during this time and invite him in to be a part of that. And so the verse I want to leave you with is here in Psalms, and Psalm 16:11. It says, "You will make known to me the path of life. You will fill me with joy in your presence, with eternal pleasures at your right hand." And I believe whatever that fun thing is for you, whether it's iced coffee or doing something silly, Jesus is there with you because he wants you to experience joy as you're staying safe at home. Thanks for letting me be with you guys, ladies. Bye.
Thank you so much, Tamiko. That was awesome. Love it, love it, love it. And I love her. So it's so fun to get to hear from her and to get a little coffee love going on. Yay, yay. All right, well, we're going to keep moving in our girls' night. And next, we're going to hear from Denise Burdett. And so I'm so excited for you guys to get to meet her if you don't know her. But Denise is just such a wonderful part of Purpose Church family. And she's got a lot going on. She's a busy mama, and she loves Jesus so much. You cannot have a conversation without Denise without knowing that she is completely in love with Jesus. And so I always love whenever I get a chance to talk with her. So Denise, I'm going to invite you to introduce yourself to everyone and unmute your mic and show us what you've got for us tonight.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Hello, everyone. It's so fun to be with you here tonight, sort of, right? We're all here, but we're all not here. It's kind of a weird thing. But it's fun to kind of be here. I have 4 kids, like Lisa said, and I actually homeschool. So 2 of mine are at Western Christian, 2 of mine are still home with me. And so it's just fun. I actually love having them all home, but it has gotten a little crazy around here, hasn't it? And so Lisa asked me to just share a little bit about what one of my favorite essential oils is. And so those of you that may have heard about essential oils before know that that's kind of a hard question because picking one is very hard. Picking one is very hard. You see my shirt, it says oil up, Buttercup, because that's what we do. We just oil up. We have lots of different oils that we use. And so I chose one though for tonight that I thought was perfect for this time that we're all in right now because it has the name, I'll show it to you right here. The name is Thieves. It's actually a blend of oils. And so I'll share with you about what is in this bottle in just a second. But before I share that, I want to tell you how it got its name, that name Thieves. And so it got its name actually from another time that our world was going through a pandemic. Shocker, right? This isn't the first time that our world has experienced what it's experiencing. So, but this bottle, this group of oils got its name not from recently, but actually from the 15th century. So the pandemic that was going on at that time was called the bubonic or the Black Plague. And at that time, people were dying. It was a crazy, crazy time. And lots of people were dying. And so the way that this name came about was that 4 French robbers were going around and they were robbing the graves of people who had died from the plague. And miraculously, these 4 robbers were stealing from people who had died and they were not getting the plague. And so the king at that time captured them. They were captured. And he said to them, okay, if you will tell me your secret, how you are not contracting this disease that is killing everybody, then I will lighten your sentence. And so they shared their secret. And their secret was, first of all, it helps to know that they were spice merchants. And that I know we're all wearing masks now, and our masks look kind of cute. You might have a cute fabric mask. That's what I have. But back in the day, the masks they were wearing, especially those who were doctors or physicians, would wear these masks that had a great big beak on them. You may have seen pictures of them before. And the reason they had that beak is that they would actually store spices and different kinds of botanicals in that beak that would help them stay healthy and help keep the sickness and the illness away from them, especially their mouth and their nose. So they were spice merchants and they had masks and they were putting a combination of these plants, the oils from these plants, in their mask, and it was keeping them healthy. And so the combination was clove, rosemary, lemon, eucalyptus, and cinnamon oils. And so when they shared that recipe with the king, the recipe is actually on a plaque in a French museum even today. So this is a legend, but I think it's considered a true story because it's on a plaque. And so when they shared that with the king lightened their sentence and did not punish them as severely as they deserved. And so I shared this with you today because it's very appropriate for what we're all going through right now. And one of the things that we're doing in our house is we're using this a lot. In fact, a couple of my friends were asking, tell us how you're using it. And so I'm not going to go too deeply into that right now because that could be a whole nother long class I teach. But one of the ways is diffusing. So you see my diffuser right here. You may be able to see some of it's kind of like steam, but it's not hot. Hot would not be good for the oils. So it's kind of a cool mist diffuser that I put water in, and then I drop some of the oil in, and it's diffusing it into our air. So as we're breathing, we're getting the benefits of those oils. And I also clean with it. And so I brought my little handy dandy cleaner here with me that I just made. I love using this. There's actually like a thieves cleaner that I use and I dilute. Lasts me forever and ever. But a way you can make it is just 1 drop of thieves oil to every ounce of water in your bottle, shake it up and spray it around. This is like the only cleaner I use in my house. We don't use any chemicals in our house anymore. And so it's been a huge joy to swap all that stuff out. So that's one way. The other crazy way we use it, sounds kind of weird, but is I actually put the oil on the bottom of our feet at night, which sounds crazy, but the pores on the bottom of your feet are bigger than any other pores in your body. And so the absorption rate is much faster into your body. And so actually in a very short time, whatever you put on your feet will be absorbed into all the cells in your body in a very short time, like 20 minutes. So that's true of chemicals. Like if you wash your shower with chemicals are going into your body, which is not great. But if you use something like thieves, which is a great immune fighting oils that God gave us, because he made all those plants, he's the author of this, right? That's what I love. Then it actually does help boost your immune system. So those are 3 little ways we're doing: diffusing, putting it on our feet, and I use it to clean everything with it. I love that. But one of my other very favorite things about this oil that I'm just really thankful for right now is as I use it, it has a weird name, doesn't it? Thieves. It's kind of like in a weird way, it's kind of like glorifying, like, I don't know, like crime, right? It sort of sounds weird. But you know what? When I use this, it reminds me that of the truth, because this is true, that there is a thief out there, right? His name is Satan. And there's a thief that's trying to steal our joy. That's kind of his main goal. His main goal is to steal our joy and to get us discouraged and to get us down. And this is a really easy time right now to slip into that, to slip into a time where we just don't feel joy. We just are feeling all the other stuff, right? We're seeing the news and we're seeing how discouraging things can be. And we just kind of sit in that reality and get discouraged. And so I just love, and I want to share with you guys tonight, John 10:10, that says, the thief, that's Satan. We have to name him, right? Because it's true, he's real, and he is trying to do this for real. This is not a fairy tale. So it's important to know that. There is a thief that comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And isn't he trying to do that right now? Isn't he? But here's the cool part, you guys. We don't have to let it stop there. The verse goes on, because this is Jesus talking, to say, but I have come. That's Jesus. I have come that they may have life and they may have it to the full. And so I just wanted to leave you with this today, that in this weird time, it's really tempting to say to ourselves and to believe that life is kind of on hold right now. Life's kind of on hold. Even my kids pray it, right? Lord, I pray that this would all stop. You'd kill all the coronavirus so that life can go back to normal. I mean, that's a prayer I've heard in my house. But I just want to encourage you that Jesus he has goodness for us right now. He has not stopped life. Life actually is possible abundantly, even now. And how powerful can it be for us as followers of Jesus? And if you don't know him yet, I would encourage you to ask the person who invited you tonight, what's this about? But it is actually possible to experience abundant life even right now. Jesus promises that. So let's not let the thief, right, come steal, kill, and destroy our joy, because Jesus has it for us in abundance right now. So I love you, sisters. It's so good to be with you here tonight. And I just want to remind you of that. Let us live joy-filled days, even now.
Amen, sister. Thank you so much. That was so good. I love that. Not only are thieves, the oil, super cool, but the message of not letting Satan steal our joy is so important for us to hold on to right now. Well, we are going to move into the kitchen next. So I don't know about you guys, but is anybody eating a bit more in quarantine? My parents sent me a cartoon the other day of two like ginormous people in their living room, a husband and wife, and they were like, the quarantine's over and they say we can go out, but how do we get out? And they were so large they could not fit through their door because they had just been enjoying food. And so I think I'm definitely on schedule to gain a good 10 pounds over COVID-19. But you know, there's something about comfort food, and that's why it's called comfort food, because it is comforting. So I am so thrilled that Camille Wagi is going to be up next, and she is going to share with us a bread recipe. And Camille is a member of Purpose Church, and she is such a great friend. And Camille and our family, we actually usually spend Easter together. We've done that for years and years and years because she doesn't have family out here and we don't have family out here. And so we always get together. And this is one of the recipes that she often brings. And so I can testify firsthand that this bread is good stuff. So Camille, I'm going to invite you to go ahead and unmute your mic and tell us all about what you've got for us tonight.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. Can you hear me okay? We good? Hopefully.
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so I'm a teacher, and actually I'd love to see wave of hands if there's other teachers out there. I'm sure there are. So for most of us, March 13 was our last day at school with our students, and then we all came home, and we've all started trying to figure out this whole thing called distance learning or remote learning. And it has been quite a challenge for all of us to try to figure out how to connect with students and plan lessons. And I also work with students with special needs, and so just the added challenge of trying to figure out how to support them, support their families, and provide what they need to be able to learn from home. So I have to say there have been a lot of moments of just chaos of trying to navigate all of that, and a lot of unknowns. And I just found myself several times just like, I don't know what to do right now. And so I've discovered that in a season of a lot of unknowns, that it has really helped me to go to something that I know. And I love to bake, and I especially love to bake bread. Been baking bread for a while, and I have discovered a recipe that I especially love to make. And I just really found that through the process of baking that my own soul has found nourishment emotionally. And I found that I can physically nourish my family through learning how to make food, and especially with baking bread. So now one thing about baking is that, especially bread baking, is it can be kind of overwhelming to a lot of people. A typical bread recipe has, you know, different ingredients. There's usually a multi-step process. There's like a mixing and kneading and proofing and shaping and baking. And there's like a science to it. I have a friend that's like, she just doesn't like to do baking because she's like, there's too many things that could go wrong. And it's true. There in any of those steps, something could go wrong. But when I found this recipe that is so easy and so fast, and it really is foolproof, it really takes a lot of the guesswork out of baking. And I shared it on Facebook, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and I made a little short tutorial on one of the steps, and it kind of took off. I've had so many friends that have never baked bread before that have made these gorgeous artisan loaves. And I even have one friend that took that new skill and just started to bless her friends and neighbors and started dropping off loaves of bread, which is amazing. And so it's been such a blessing all around as I've seen these pictures. So I want to share with you, when Lisa said you have 5 minutes, I was like, ooh, I wonder if I could even show the process in 5 minutes. So I'm going to try to do that right now. So I'm going to turn this camera around and my husband's going to take it. Oh, hello. Sorry, I didn't turn it. Okay. Hello. So here's my kitchen, and you don't have to have anything fancy. I have this tiny little kitchen, and this is where I do my thing. So I've pre-measured all my ingredients. So I'll just kind of walk you through. 3 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of salt, half a teaspoon of yeast. One of the best things about this recipe is that it only uses a half a teaspoon of yeast. Most bread recipes use like a packet, which is 2.5 teaspoons or a full tablespoon. This just uses a little bit, and it's so hard to find yeast right now. So a little goes a long way for this recipe. And then a 1.5 cups of warm water. And then you just mix it all together. Usually I mix those dry ingredients to start with, but you don't have to. It really is as easy as this. I actually have made this for a few years. I have no idea where I found this recipe. And it's one that is so fast that I can make it up in the morning before I go to work and then bake it when I get home. Then you just cover that with saran wrap. And then that just sits on your counter for, I think the recipe that Lisa's going to post says between like 9 and 24 hours or something crazy like that, like all this leeway. I have baked it in as little as 6 hours, and I've never let it go 24 hours. I think if it was going to go longer than 12 hours, I'd put it in the fridge and kind of slow it down. I'd be afraid it would just bust out. But I made this one this morning. See the magic of television. I made this one this morning. This one I started at 10 o'clock this morning. And so it's beautiful. It's ready to go. And one thing about this recipe is that it does take time. You don't have to knead it, but it does take time for it to, for the yeast to activate. And one of the things I was just thinking about with that part of the process is there is really beauty to be found in taking the time to let something work and let something kind of do its thing. And I know not all of us have extra time right now, but many of us do. And there can be a lot of beauty to be found in having that extra time. And so just to find those beautiful moments with that extra time that you may have. So, oh, sorry, my dishwasher. Okay. So this is the step that is not quite so obvious from the recipe, but I put parchment down, put a whole bunch of flour down. This dough is very, very sticky. And so I just kind of pull at it and let it just kind of drop into the flour. Okay, and then you just pull from the bottom all the way up to the top. Just kind of, so you're smoothing out the sides as you just pull the dough to the center. It's kind of like, you know, like when you draw together a drawstring bag, kind of like that. And by the way, did you know that bread is mentioned over 200 times in the Bible, and Jesus calls himself the bread of life? And I think there's a lot of truth to that. And as you start making bread, you see so many connections, and you start to realize why bread was used so often to explain things and help illustrate things. Okay, so I was talking while I was doing that, but basically I formed it and then I turned it up like this, put it in the flour so there's no sticky parts anywhere around it. Now you can either, the recipe says to leave this for 30 minutes. You can. And if you leave it for 30 minutes, it will create a little bit bigger of a loaf like this. But you can also just put it right in the oven, which is what I usually do, because I usually don't like to wait 30 minutes. So I actually put in a loaf 30 minutes ago. And coming out of the oven. And so you can kind of see it's a little taller, but it's a little bit more compact, a tiny bit more dense, but that's what that looks like. And then, and no, I did not clean my oven for all of you. You're welcome. You just, that has been preheating in there for, oh, I don't know, since I turned the oven on. And then you just take your loaf and you just drop it in. Put the lid back on. That'll bake in there for 30 minutes. Then you take the lid off and bake it for another 5. This one actually I didn't. I think this is ready. I didn't bake it for another 5, but it looks good to me. So anyway, that is my process, and that's the bread. Lisa is going to post the recipe in the comments. And I just hope that for those of you that have been scared of bread making, or it just seems like it's a really difficult process, I hope that this helps to empower you to do something that is just, it has been a real blessing to my family, and I hope it will be a blessing to yours too.
That is so great, Camille. The only thing you left out is the ability for us to taste test it through Zoom. How do we do that?
Right? Ooh, I know. How do we do that?
I can almost smell your kitchen. Oh. All right, everybody, give it up for Camille Wagi. Woo, 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 woo. Thank you so much, Camille. I think we're going to all have bread for dinner tomorrow, so super exciting. All right, well, our next presenter is the one and only Talithia Williams. And
hey, Sam. Woo.
I'm super excited she's joining us. Talithia is definitely one of the girls in my girl squad that I often have a girls' night out with, and she just brings the party with her wherever she goes. And so I said, Talithia, you need to bring us into your home and get the party started over there. So I asked Talithia, and of course she said, yeah, I'm down.
Of course.
Everybody give it up for Dr. Talithia Williams.
Hey, everybody. So you are literally in my home. You're in my bathroom because I'm showing you some of my go-to essentials. So, so the quarantine has us home. I've got 3 boys that we homeschool, but we don't pandemic school. So this is different. Like, folks are like, oh, you homeschool, it's so easy. I'm like, we are never in the house as long. So that's been a little bit of a challenge for our family, even though we homeschool, kind of getting used to what it means to always be together all the time. Praise Jesus. I'm also a professor at Harvey Mudd, and so I've had to transition to online learning for my students, which has been a shift because it's shown me, different students have different access to internet. It's changed up my teaching. I think it's helped make me and my colleagues much more sympathetic and compassionate in how we evaluate students and as we sort of all get through this situation together. So that's kind of how COVID is shaping our house over here. I did clean the tub for you, so let me just let you get a good look at that because I had the comment out earlier. I wanted to talk to you about my facial routine. So prior to September of 2019, the way I would wash my face would sort of be like, wash my body, and then like, oh, I should probably also clean my face. Like, I know that probably grosses you out, but that's just to say I was not one of those people who had like different moisturizers and cleansers. It was literally like whatever body soap I was using, I try to remember to do my face first before I finish the body. And so since I'm in the 40s now, some of my Facebook girlfriends were talking about what their skincare routine was. And I'm like, skincare routine, I wash my face and then I put on whatever body lotion is going on. It goes on my, I know, don't shake your head. Yeah, that's what I do. And they were like, oh, I've got a Korean 10-step program. Oh, I do this and that. And I'm like, who are these people? And what do you do? Who has time for that? And then I looked at their skin and it was beautiful. And I was just like, how did your skin? Oh gosh, what do you use? So you are lucky because I paid attention. So the friend of mine that shared it to me is I just sent her YouTube video. And then let me see if this goes through. These are all of the things that she recommends in her Korean 10-step program. And it's a video. I don't use all 10 of them. I'm going to show you the ones that I use because part of me was just like, am I really going to do 10 things every morning? Like, I got kids and breakfast and got to go to work. And 10 like this is before you even put on makeup, like just 10 like face things, you know. But now it's actually become a routine. So here's my routine. I'm going to share it with you. So first I start with an oil-based cleanser. So yeah, all the products are listed and they're in the video. And so this is like, this loosens up all the makeup and helps the makeup to come off really easily. Whereas before I was literally just like scrubbing my face with soap for 5 minutes and like, I still didn't quite get it. So this helps. So oil-based cleansers first, and then like a water-based. This is a green tea cleanser. This Neogen is really light. 1 pump. I've had this for 9 months, and you see how much like and so 1 pump, and that like takes all the oil off and then gives you a nice clean face. I also use a toner. Witch hazel also works just as well. So you know, go cheap on that. But what she really recommended was, which I wasn't doing, was sunscreen, because I was like, I got melanin, like I don't need sunscreen, do I? And she was like, yeah, you do need sunscreen. So I use this every day now. I know, right? Y'all are like, yeah, Talithia, it doesn't work that way. This is a like SPF like 60 or 70 sunscreen that's really light. So it's great because you can put it on and put your makeup on top and it doesn't feel heavy. And then I do a moisturizer. So like these sort of 4 steps plus the witch hazel, I now do every day, and it's become so routine and easy that I don't think about it. The first time I did it, I was just like, I do not love my face this much. I just don't. Really, you know. And now my face is just sort of like, how are you not going to clean me? Really? Are you just going to go out without, where's my sunscreen? So yeah, I think my face has an issue with me now to make sure I do that. Twice a week I do either or once a week I do either like a scrub or like a chemical-based light peel. So the scrub that I use is this black sugar mask. Again, it's in there, so don't stress about that. So it's like a black sugar scrub that you leave on your face for 10 minutes. So you rub it in and then you just let it sit there. So I usually do that the day that I wash my hair, and then just let it sit and then rinse it off. That's really great. On alternate weeks, I use this product by The Ordinary. It's like a 30%. I feel like I'm a YouTuber, you know, when they do like, look, it's a 30%. So it's like it's a cranberry based peel. You can't really, okay, there we go. And it's a 10-minute peel, and it has some acid in it, so it'll sort of take off a small layer of skin. It's like $7.99. The Ordinary products are so good and they're so cheap, and so the link is there. And then last but not least, I sleep in the 100% raw shea butter, and it was on sale at Target. Won't he do it? Yes, he will. He will make a way out of no way. On clearance at Target. I'm just gonna show you just because it's us girls. Literally, I promise you, I got all of them. I was just like, I don't care that other people might need it. Like, it was on sale, and so I backed the truck up. So if you go to Target and there's not any, then you know who has them. Okay, so I put this on at night, and it's 100% organic shea butter, and so that like helps. You notice I don't have any wrinkles. Yeah, I do. I just tried to cover them up, but I sleep with that at night to try to really hydrate my face at night. I've also been doing more baths. So I love this Dr. Teal's Epsom salt. Normally I get the cheapest one, like the plain, but I went fancy because, you know, we're quarantined. So I upgraded and paid for the one with essential oils. Yay, essential oils. So yes, so I've been doing that. And I really like their sleep bath. It has melatonin in it. Honestly, this is what I wash the kids in, is to just make them go to sleep. So I know but I use it too, and I really like it. Last but not least, y'all, my feet, like, it's nothing pretty. And so, you know, I haven't been able to get a pedicure. And let's just say when I got married, my mom bought me some socks to sleep in, like the socks that had like the stuff on the inside that's supposed to soften your feet overnight, like that was her gift to me, because she was just like, I don't want your husband to leave you, and so you just need to sleep in these every night. So if that gives you any idea of what my feet are like. So I've been putting this to use since I cannot go and get a pedicure. I've been trying to like keep them holy and smooth and not tear up my sheets at night with my feet. That's all I have. Oh, I do have a scripture verse for you, because I was like, what scripture is going to talk about beauty? And lo and behold, come through Ephesians. Ephesians 5 verse 29 says, no one ever hated their own body, but they feed it and care for the body just as Christ does the church. So I'm challenging you to care for your body, maybe in ways that you never even thought you might, and taking time to do things that you thought might be completely unimportant, because it might just not only refresh your body, but also refresh your spirit. So thank you.
Talithia, you're amazing. So everybody wants to know, are you also hoarding toilet paper? That is the question of
Oh, no. Why, no. I'm totally not. Look, our toilet paper is like on its last leg. Like, if anyone has some, actually, maybe you could give us some.
I think that's why you're filming in your bathroom, because every other week is filled with toilet paper. So
You know what, Lisa? No.
all right, thank you for sharing with us your wisdom, Talithia. We love you and appreciate you. All right, well, next, friends, we are heading into a little exercise love with our friend Tiffany Sandoval Nelson. She is such a dear one, and she has been completely committed to fitness lately, and she says quarantine is no reason not to take our fitness seriously. So I was thinking we ought to put this little piece in there just because we did some bread love, we did some iced coffee love, so now we got to move it, friends. We got to move it. So Tiff, if you're there, go ahead and unmute.
I'm here. Hi, friends.
All right.
So I don't know if you guys have heard, but there's a hashtag going around right now that's called the Quarantine 19, because, like COVID-19 was discovered in 2019, but it's also like the freshman 15. When you go to college, you put on all that weight because you're, enjoying the buffet at the college and like not moving a lot. So look, I'm not about that life. I'm so sorry. I'm not. So what I've been doing, which I have totally loved, is free YouTube videos, which is like the best. Girl, Carissa, no, stop. You're not. Also, please jump into that chat and tell me how you guys are keeping active. I think it's super important for us to stay active in this crazy time. I don't know about you guys, but for me, my stress relief is movement. I totally believe in movement as medicine, getting out and moving and jumping and just doing crazy things. I can't jump anymore, but before I could, so that was nice. So what I've been using, like I said, is some YouTube videos. So I sent Lisa some videos. I have 3. So 2 are from Pot Sugar Fitness, totally free account, and they have all kinds of different things. So my first is a 30-minute video. It's from Krista something. Hold on. I'm going to find it right now. Sorry, I took notes. Okay, here we go. I'm on my phone, so forgive me. But my first one is Krista DiPaolo. She's from The Cut by Equinox, and then also she has something called Boxing and Bubbles, and she's all about like kickboxing, and it's a 30-minute video. It totally gets you there. It's perfect. For me right now, I do my workouts during lunch. I'm in pharma, and my company is totally devoted to trying to find a cure for COVID-19. So I've been working like 60-hour weeks. So before quarantine, I was working out at the gym before work at like 5:30 in the morning because I'm a morning person. But now I can't do that because the gyms are closed, and it just doesn't work that way. So now I work out during lunch, which is great, but it means I have to do things that are at my home. So I'm using YouTube, like I've said. So Krista's great. She's super empowering, and everything about it is okay with modifications. And like I said earlier, like it's hard for me to jump. So I do the modifications. I hurt myself. I was going to boot camp for 1.5 years and I didn't stretch enough. So I misaligned my hips. So I can't jump. So it's really important for me to use the modifications, and there's no shame in that. Whatever you have to do to keep moving, keep moving. It's just super important to keep moving. So that's my 30-minute. And then I have a 45-minute. Her name is Jeanette Jenkins. She's a Hollywood trainer. She's trained Pink, the musician, whom I love, and Alicia Keys, like who doesn't also love her. But she's 45 minutes, and it's also cardio kickbox. Totally kicks your whole booty. It's amazing. It's one of my favorites. And then you're like, you know what? Cardio kickboxing and those things, they're not for me. That's okay. My favorite yoga instructor, her name is Yoga with Adriene. If I've ever met you, I have told you about Yoga with Adriene. She's changed my life. Every January, she's a 30-minute, or sorry, not 30-minute, but it's a 30-day like yoga challenge. It's the best, but she does things that are also modified. So if you can't go through every movement, she'll show you the basic, the intermediate, and then the like hardcore. And so you work your way up, and it's perfect. Love her. All of these things are free on YouTube. It's my favorite. Also, we live in SoCal, so recently I've been working out outside. There's my outside over there through that door. But when I can't, I work out right here in this little space. So I don't know where you guys are and what you're doing and what your setup is like, but there's opportunity everywhere. And then I just wanted everybody to take a moment, just like close their eyes and just breathe. I'm going to walk you through a really quick little exercise. Just everybody close your eyes. We're going to take 3 counts in. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4. And just center yourself and realize, yeah, things are totally crazy, but it's not going to be like this forever. And the best way to get through it is to give yourself a routine. And I think it's to give yourself the opportunity to work out a little bit, get that stress out, be lovely, or, do whatever you need. Whatever it makes you happy is going to be the best. But honestly, for me, it's movement. And so that's what I do. I don't think that was 5 minutes, but I do think that I'm done. So bye.
That was fabulous, Tiffany. Thank you so much. We love you. We appreciate you. And you know what? It's so true. I think, I don't know about you guys, but like when we all first started quarantined, man, I crashed hard. Like I was just sleeping more. I didn't want to get out of bed. I was just like, what's wrong with me? And then I was like, all right, pick it up, kick it in gear here. We got to get our workout back on. And so I just started walking a little bit because, you lose it so fast, right? You like go for 2 weeks, you're like, your body has forgotten at all that you can move. And so started walking and then started jogging again. And I'm like, okay, now I'm starting to feel a little bit more like me. And so I think there really is something in just getting our bodies out there and moving that helps to alleviate some of that stress and, that anxiety and depression that we're all dealing with, so that we don't walk around our house with our last nerve hanging out like a live tripwire for all those that living with us, right? So good stuff, Tiffany. And you guys are incredible. Look at all these comments of what you guys are doing. Love it, love it, love it. All right, we've got a couple more things that we're going to do. We're closing in on the end here, but up next is Lisa Patterson, and I'm so excited that she is going to present. She's also one of the pastors at Purpose Church, and we love her dearly. So Lisa Patterson, go ahead, unmute your mic, and introduce yourself, and tell us what you've got for us.
Hey girl, it's so fun to hang out with you virtually on this Friday night. I love what technology has allowed us to do. I love the way that Lisa Tony thinks, and what a great idea to bring this night together. And so I hope that you are all doing well during this strange pandemic season that we are in. I'm doing okay, but I have to tell you, when this thing first went down, when we were on, what is it called, shelter in place or house arrest or whatever we call it, in the beginning, it was very difficult for me because I am just not used to being at home this long. I know many of you are busy with younger children, but I'm in a season of life where I'm an empty nester, and so being at home was just really difficult for me. But I'm happy to tell you that as this COVID-19 season has gone on and on and on, I I have discovered some new ways to try to make the most of my time. So something that I would like to tell you is that I have always loved to read. When I was younger, I would just devour books. But in more recent years, I just really have not made a lot of time for reading. I love my job. I work a lot of hours. And when I get home, I kind of just like to veg out and hang out with my husband. And so I just haven't been spending a lot of time reading. But then COVID-19 happened, and I have once again discovered a passion of mine. And so, of course, my all-time favorite book to read is my Bible. And if you girls could see how worn out my Bible is, I know that you would laugh. I've often said that my Bible is like my best friend because it's with me every day. And certainly we have taken some long, drawn out journeys together. But during this season, I've discovered some other good reads. And so the book that I want to share with you, look at how fancy that is called The Circle Maker, and it's by a guy named Mark Batterson. Now, girls, this book is outstanding. It's about praying circles around our biggest dreams and our greatest fears. And the idea is that God is not offended by our big God-sized dreams. In fact, he's offended by anything less. Now, after we prayerfully identify what our God-sized dreams are, we can circle them in prayer, and we should pray relentlessly and never give up. Of course, this doesn't mean that we can ask God to answer our prayers that are driven by selfish motives, like asking him to help us win the lottery. But when our dreams are lined up with God's will and God's promises, God loves to answer those prayers. In fact, when our prayers are lined up with God's will, we can be sure that his answers will be yes. And sometimes I can testify that it may take a while, and sometimes it may not even happen in our lifetime where we get to see it. But girls, God is faithful. And when our prayers and our biggest dreams line up with his will and his promises, we can be sure that he will answer. Now, I don't want to spoil this for you by telling you all about the book. But what I will tell you is that this book has rocked my spiritual life, and it has caused me to flex my faith muscles to new levels. But mostly, I have found that my time with Jesus is so much more intimate and relational. Now, I love Jesus, and my experiences have definitely made me a prayer warrior. But honestly, I feel like my prayer life has been taken to new heights as a result of reading this book. Many of you know that I have been praying for some of my adult sons for many years. And after praying for so long, it's almost as if I have stopped dreaming that change may actually happen. But my dreams have been resurrected, and I find great joy now talking with Jesus about my boys and some of my biggest dreams for them. And the best news of all is I see God working. So maybe some of you have some big size God dreams. Maybe you sense that there's more to prayer than what you are experiencing. And if so, I would love to encourage you to get your hands on this book. You can find it on Amazon for less than $10. And I would love to encourage you to read it. And if after you read it, how fun would it be for us to connect and kind of talk about it together? Lisa's going to make my email available for you. And who knows what God has in store. I like to think about when prayer warrior sisters come together and God enters the equation. Who knows if we may change history together. And so, girls, while I know that COVID-19 season is challenging, My prayer for all of you is that you would find that God has some exciting treasures for you during this time. He has something that he wants to do in all of your lives. And the Circle Maker has been one of the gifts that he's given me, and maybe he wants to share this gift with you. I sure love you girls. I can't wait to get together again. And happy COVID-19. Let's know that God is working. I love you.
Thank you so much, Lisa Patterson. Woo, woo, woo. We love her. Yes, and so many great chats, comments going on in the chat box, Lisa Patterson. People love this book or they're excited to read it. So we're excited for, thank you for inspiring us to pick up a book and spend some of our time getting closer to Jesus. Good stuff, good stuff. All right, you guys. Well, we have one more awesome way that we are going to end this evening, and that is through a song from the wonderful dynamic duo of Letitia Ugweke and Gloria Torres. So I am guessing that they are some of your favorites, just like they are mine. And so let's hear from them as they lead us in a song tonight.
Ladies, hasn't this been a wonderful girls' night in? Thank you, Lisa, so much for hosting this. And all the ladies that have just blessed us with so many cool things we could be doing during this quarantine time. Wonderful books we can read, things we can make. We wanted to end the evening with a song. It's called The Blessing. It comes from number 624 through 25. And this is what it says. The Lord bless you and keep you and make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. The Lord bless you and keep you and make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. Amen. Amen. May his favor be upon you in 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children. May his favor be upon you in 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children. May his favor be upon you in 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children. May his favor be upon you in 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children. May his presence go before you, and behind you, and beside you, all around you, and within you. and your children, and your children, and your children. May His presence go before you, and behind you, and beside you, all around you, and within you. He is with you. He is with you in the morning, in the evening, in your coming and your going, in your weeping and rejoicing. He is for you. 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 Sing amen. Amen. He is for you. Amen. No matter what. Amen. God bless you.
Goodness, you guys, that was incredible. Thank you so, so much. Oh, what an incredible way to end our time together. Give it up for Letitia and Gloria. Woo, woo, woo. We love you, ladies. That was absolutely amazing. Well, the time has come. I hate to close it up. This has been so much fun, and I'm so grateful that you guys have joined us. So it is that time. If you've got a cup with you, we are going to do a group cheers on Zoom. So grab a cup if you've got one. And I don't know if you do this with your girlfriends when you're out for a girls' night, but let's bring it in, girls. Let's cheers to Jesus. Let's cheer to girlfriends. Let's cheers to women of faith, women of purpose, and let's cheers to the joy of the Lord being our strength. Cheers. All right, we love you so much. Jesus, I just ask for your blessing on these women, Lord. May they go in your hope and your strength and your peace, knowing that you are with them no matter what tomorrow holds, no matter what this week holds, no matter what this year holds, that you are a God who is faithful. And so I pray, Lord, that you will equip them with every good thing to represent you well in their homes and in their relationships, to all that they encounter, Lord. May they represent you, Jesus. It's in the mighty name of Jesus we pray. And all God's women said, amen.